Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to World at War Comics podcast. Today, I got my special guest, Mr. Will Conrad, artist extraordinaire, creator extraordinaire. Will, it's so good having you, my friend.
Well, pleasure is all mine. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who is watching and has been looking at my work.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of work to look at, Will. I mean, you've been doing this for a little while and you've done some incredible stuff. But before we get into that, Will, can we kind of go back in time? I would love to know when that passion for comic books and art started in your life. Was it at a very young age?
Oh, yes. I actually learned how to read and write with comics. I remember there is still actually a comic strip here called Turma da Mônica. It's basically Monica's Bunch, and it's from Mauricio de Souza. It's very popular, especially in my younger days, and I loved reading it, and I started reading because of it. And as I was, learning how to read and write, I always wanted to draw the characters, trying to create my own stories. So as far as I can remember, I always loved comics in a way or another.
That's
So
incredible.
I mean, as an artist, I always loved drawing, and especially I always loved drawing comics. But when I was younger in Brazil, and especially in my town, we didn't have much of an industry here, and so I never saw myself as a professional artist when I was younger. I always dreamed of doing it, but it was so far away that I never imagined that I would end up doing what I do now. But I always did comics, as a hobby. I did it for myself. We did something that we call here in Brazil fanzine, which is basically, a bunch of fans doing comic books and photocopying it and distributing to each other.
That sounds
So
fun. Pretty
that's
cool.
how it all started. Yeah, that's how everything started for me.
So did you like create your own characters? Is that what the idea was, to create your own world, your own
Yeah, yeah, mostly yes. I created my own stories with my own characters. Obviously, nothing professional, and it was very bad actually. uh, and very short stories. But it was always a learning curve. And then I mean, soon after we start doing that, I found out the guys that would be my inspiration. You know, um, Will Weisner, Mark Schultz, Frank Frazetta, all the greats. And I started trying to learn how to draw like them, and I got more interested on storytelling. So I learned a lot with Joe Kubert, John Buscema, John Romita Sr., obviously Jack Kirby, and all of these guys. And I was amazed because I remember, at that time, TV was we didn't have so much in terms of special effects on movies and stuff. So every time we did something or saw something in comics, it was like, oh man, that's so amazing. And so I started learning by myself, storytelling. I got that book from Will Weisner, the comics and sequential art from Will Weisner. And, I started learning. And I started working with illustration here in Brazil. But I always wanted to do comics until I found out there was an agency in São Paulo that was representing some Brazilian artists for the American market. Guys like Mike Deodato, Joe Bennett, Luke Ross, they were starting out. So when I found out, I packed my bags. I set up a very, amateur portfolio and went there. And they said my work didn't didn't attend the American market. So I started studying the style that the American market and European market were buying, and he kept sending samples and samples and samples and samples until I got my first job. So it was a very small job, but it got me into the door.
What was that first job, Will?
Well, it was a Rob Zombie story.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't remember that clown. I don't remember I don't remember the name.
Mm-hmm.
I did a few pages, but it was so bad I was not ready.
Oh, okay.
But soon after that, because I used to ink my own stuff, I had a fair knowledge about inking. So I start getting little jobs inking stuff for Dark Horse. Actually my first work that I can consider
Mm-hmm.
that was a good work was for Dark Horse inking half an issue of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 2001. From that moment on, I start getting more and more and more work inking. I worked as an inker for like almost 4 years, but I kept working on my pencils until I got my first job as a penciler, and doing very small stuff until I did my real breakthrough as a well. Yeah, I was doing a lot of small stuff, penciling, and my real breakthrough was when I got the chance to do Serenity for Dark Horse, Joss Whedon's Serenity.
Yeah.
The show had just ended, and they were doing the movie, and they did a comic book story that would fill the breach between the end of the series
Yeah.
and what happens in the movie. So I did that, and it was a very successful mini series. I remember that Josh Whedon participated, he co-wrote, and Laura Martin did the colors, fantastic job. And I had the chance to do, I didn't have inks. I did straight from pencils. I did type pencils, and it was nominated to the Eisner. It got the Hugo Awards. So that mini series got the attention of other companies like Marvel and DC. So from there, I started getting more high profile jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's so incredible. That's Firefly, right? The
Yeah.
Serenity in between. Yeah, that's such a good series too. I'm a big
Well,
Josh Whedon. I think he's an amazing creator. He's in it's incredible, man. I love everything he does. So
yeah, and I love doing that series, and I became a big fan of the show, man.
yeah,
I can't understand. I still till this day I can't understand why they didn't keep it going for longer.
agree.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I know, if I'm not mistaken, David Booher, who is a writer, he is doing, I think, Firefly right now as well. So there's still a lot of fans out there. You never know what'll happen, but I agree with you. It's such a good series. I just rewatched it, I think, on Tubi or something like that, not too long ago because I wanted to rewatch it again.
Yeah, I have the DVD set.
Oh yeah.
Believe it or not, I still have a DVD player here that sometimes I put the DVDs there, and I can watch it whenever I want. Oh man, I became a big fan. I actually met some of the actors.
Oh, that's good.
I met Nathan Fillion in a convention in San Diego. Such a nice guy. I met the guy who plays Simon, the doctor, and I don't remember. I'm sorry, I'm horrible with
Okay.
names.
Yeah.
And the girl that played Kaylee.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow, that yeah, they were so nice, man. And she's so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah. She's pretty.
she's gorgeous. Yeah, wow. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that series, and I
Yeah.
did another series after that. Yeah, of Serenity. So good times.
You never know. You might be back for another one. Never know.
Well, I would say yes in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Um, I still receive to this day. Sometimes people ask me to do sketches of, Captain Malcolm Reynolds and some of the gang. To this day, it's a lot of fun, and they have a huge fan club. The
Oh,
brown coats.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's so cool, man.
very nice.
So
I'm very happy that I did that series.
yeah, yeah. I mean, an incredible series, and I know I have some of it too in one of my boxes in here because I love Firefly. So, when was your breakthrough like into DC and the Marvel world? Was it right after Serenity? That's when the doors started knocking, and
Yeah,
yeah.
just after I did Serenity, I have done a work for Marvel before. I
Hmm.
think the first work that I did for Marvel was Elektra. It was a little before Serenity, but it was very. I mean, I think I was not ready yet for Marvel, uh, but I think that the main problem was that they paired me with an inker who was very good, but his style didn't match mine. Uh, it was completely off, and when I saw the pages, the inked pages, um, it changed a lot of the faces, the expressions, uh, even details that he completely changed. So I didn't think it worked. I didn't think it worked, and after that, I didn't do much stuff for Marvel anymore. And then came this series, and I start getting other chances to do stuff for Marvel. And from that point on, I changed. I Instead of putting my stuff, because I worked so long as an inker, I was having problems matching with inkers. So I start inking my own stuff. From
Makes
that
sense.
point on, things, yeah. I mean, if something doesn't work, I know who to blame.
Exactly. So, how long did you do both penciling and inking? And and are you still doing both
I
to help?
still doing.
Yeah, yeah,
I still do my own inks,
yeah,
but nowadays I do both. Manual and digital
yeah.
stuff. Now, when I there are some stuff that I like to do, manually. There are some stuff that I do digitally to save time. So I keep balancing it.
Yeah, yeah. It the style that you have, Will, is a pretty unique art style. Who would you say your art style matches most? I know you mentioned Frank Frazetta, which is incredible. I love his art, and I could see a lot of that too in your art. Who would you compare yours to the most that had the most influence on the style of art that you have?
Well, I don't compare my style with anybody's.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
that's fair.
to be honest, I don't even think I come close to feeling the shoes of some of the artists that I admire.
Yeah.
Uh, I keep trying though, I always aspire to be better every day. But I see a lot of, I think people will see a lot of Barry Smith a
Yeah.
little bit on my work. John Buscema, it was a huge reference. Some of my narrative style reminds a little bit of Joe Kubert stuff.
Mhm.
There's a lot of Norman Rockwell, who was a great illustrator. You will see some of his stuff in my work, because, as I said, it's not only one guy. I never felt comfortable, trying to emulate somebody's style. I try to pick fragments that I like on everybody's work. Every time I see some even new guys that I see, oh my God, this visual solution is great. I hope I can apply it to my work somehow. So I keep doing that all the time. But mostly, I think the older work from Mark Silvestri influenced me a lot. So a lot of these guys.
Incredible, huh? I love it. So you start working on the DC, and this is where I have a lot more familiarity with your work because I'm a big DC fan and I read a lot of DC. So War World, like you did so many incredible stuff. Let me just kind of go down, and this is not a list, but listen to this, right? Green Lantern, Captain Atom, The Flash, Teen Titans, Batman Beyond, Birds of Prey, Action Comics, Cyborg, Stormwatch. Like you've done a lot of different characters within the DC.
The
Flash.
Flash, Superman. Oh God, I am sure there are more stuff.
I'm sure
Nightwing,
there is.
I don't know if you mentioned. Yeah, I did quite a lot of stuff. I did a lot of stuff for Marvel too, you know.
Yeah, no, I got a list of Marvel stuff too, but it's incredible, Will, your career over the years and all the different characters that you've touched. Out of all of those, whether it's Marvel or DC, is there one character that when you're asked to do, you really enjoy it because it's your favorite to draw, or is it possible to have one?
Well, let's to be fair, I'll do that for Marvel and I'll do that for DC.
Perfect.
Right?
That's fair. Yep. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Well, I think that for Marvel, the character that I liked the most drawing was Wolverine. Because I always like to work with more human characters. Obviously, Wolverine is a mutant, and some people say that he's immortal, but it takes a lot of beating. So I like to make characters suffer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, as a fan, I like it too, Will. So that's okay.
And for DC, obviously, is Batman. Batman is one of the funniest characters. But I loved working on Captain Atom because I think it's such an underrated character.
For sure.
And I had the chance to redraw because they were relaunching the Captain Atom, and I had the chance to do the redesign of the character. So that was a lot of fun. Man, Superman was great to draw too. I mean, when I landed Superman to draw, I said, "Wow, man! I was not expecting that." I mean, Superman is Superman, So there are a lot of characters, but not only for Marvel and DC, but I had the chance to work with Conrad, which is which till this day for me is one of the best pairs of professionals of all time for me in comics, which is John Buscema and Alfredo Alcala. I mean, that for me, when I had a chance to draw Conan, the first thing that came into my mind was, those panels.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. And I also had the chance to draw Cole, which was the other character from Robert E. Howard. And actually, Cole was older than Conan. So we had the chance to adapt one story from Cole. So there's a lot of moments that I love drawing and characters that I love drawing. It all depends on the time, but there is still one character that I didn't have the chance to draw, and I would love to. Rom.
Yeah, Rom would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
That was going to be my next question. Is there someone that you haven't had a chance to work on yet? So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I would love to do that. And I'm working on something now that I was not expecting to be able to work on. So I'm having a lot of fun, man.
Is it more exciting for you when DC comes and they say, "Hey, we need something within like Action Comics, which you've already done," or do you get really excited when they come to you with a character that you aren't as familiar with, that you have to do a little research to find out? Like, which one is like this at this point in your career when you've done so much? Is it more fun to get something unique like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
For absolutely, especially if I have the chance to twinkle with the design. When they say, "Well, we have not done this," or we have done this, but we want to do it differently. We want you to give your input. Oh my God, that's fantastic. I don't know if you are aware, but when I was exclusive to Marvel for about 6 years before I went to DC, and one of the one of the books that I had the chance of working with was Black Panther. And the run that I did on Black Panther was exactly when Shuri took over the mantle. Mm-hmm. And some of the designs of the characters, some characters that were used, I did the designs. So when Wakanda Forever came out on the big screen, I got an invitation from Disney and Marvel to go to the red carpet. I went to Hollywood. I took my daughter with me. We went to the red carpet. We went there to the premiere, and my name is there on the movie. If you look, when they are thanking people, my name is there because I participated on the designs of some of the characters that are on the movie. So I have a lot of fun doing that. I had the chance to do that, for example, on Captain Atom. Atom, yeah. So I have a lot of fun doing that. Yeah. So I love when I have the chance to do something like that. I did that on Cole. I did that. No, man, I did that with a lot of characters actually.
You know, if you go to the DC website, you could see all the different characters that you've either created or had an impact on how they look today, and it's a pretty good list there, Will. I mean, there's a lot of characters that you've touched.
Yeah, man. I don't. To be honest, I'm sorry about that, but I don't navigate too much on the internet looking for stuff. I'm sure you know much better than me what the stuff that I already did, man. I really don't. I don't keep track. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I mean, you've touched, obviously, right, you have the DC universe, and that's pretty well developed, but then you have some of the Elseworld stuff that has taken place outside of the DC universe. And in that Elseworld area, Will, your name is all over on all these different characters that have been designed and created. So that's what I was pretty impressed with is I think when you get to a certain point of your career where you're well established and then you could have these impacts on the actual character and how they look, I mean, that's forever, right? That never goes away.
Yeah, yes.
To that forever.
Yeah, I love doing that. And I'm also liking working on stuff outside Marvel and DC too.
Yeah.
Doing my own stuff, doing some, creator-owned stuff. That's fun too. I think that's the next step, actually.
Yeah. Can we talk
telling my own stories?
Yeah, can we talk a little bit about that then? And let's go into that. I don't know how much you could share and if you're ready to share anything, but you're working on a lot of creator-owned stuff, which I agree. You get to a certain point where you have this name where people really know all your work, and now you could take some of those stories that maybe you've been sitting on for a little while and bring it forth through your art. I think that's absolutely incredible. Is there something that you're working on that people would be familiar with right now, or it hasn't come out yet?
Well, I'm working on something that is coming out that everybody knows.
Yeah.
It's not. I can't say it's creator owned, but I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it's not Marvel DC. I think you will remember Flash Gordon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm working on.
Is that the one with Jeremy Adams, the one that's coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm also working with some Rippaverse stuff. And I had some creator-owned stuff. Last couple of years ago, I did Red Border with AWA.
Yeah.
Also, I did Out. Both are very, very successful. And I did my own stuff too through Dark Horse. It's called The Collector, Unit 731. And that came through Dark Horse. And we are working on the sequel of that.
Nice.
We did a mini series, but it's an ongoing series. So we did the first arc, and now we are working on the second one. So a lot of stuff going on.
You got a lot going on, yeah. What are you doing with Rippaverse?
I'm doing a graphic. Huh?
Is it the Gooding, the one coming up? Gooding? Yes, yeah. That would be awesome, man.
I'm working on that one.
Yeah.
And I have done a lot of covers for them too.
Yeah.
They have some really nice stuff coming out.
Yeah, for sure. Man, Will, you're all over the place. That's awesome, man. I love it.
You know, we do what we can, man. We can't stop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I am kind of a workaholic.
Yeah.
I like so much what I do that when I get nothing to do, I start creating stuff to do. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, at this point in your career too, right? I assume that are you still doing a lot of Comic Cons, or have you backed off a little bit on going and traveling a little bit where fans could meet you and stuff?
No, I mean, obviously, the pandemic created some problems.
Yeah.
Uh, so not a lot of conventions, but I started doing conventions again, you know, little by little. Last year I went to last year I didn't do New York, but I don't remember which. I went to a convention in São Paulo here. It's a
Hmm.
big one, the CCXP, and I think I did a convention early the year. I don't remember which, but this year I'm planning on doing more conventions. And last year I couldn't do much because I lost my father early in the year, so
Yeah.
I kind of stopped everything a little bit
Sorry to
in
hear
terms
that.
of traveling.
Yeah.
And this year I'm planning on, you know, getting back to traveling again. So let's see.
Yeah, yeah. Well, where can fans go?
For sure I'll be in New York,
Okay,
and I'm planning on doing one or two more.
excellent. Anything on the West Coast?
I'm trying to.
Yeah,
Let's
that'd
see
be
if they
excellent.
let's see if they will have me.
Yeah, yeah. I think they would. That'd be crazy if they didn't, man. Yeah, that's awesome, man. So, Will, where could people find your work right now? Like your website, your Instagram. Let's go over that. That way people can make sure they're following you and that way they're up to date on all the amazing things that you're doing.
Yeah, I mostly nowadays I post everything that I do, and I try to post daily stuff on Instagram. Will Conrad Art, easy to find. I'm very approachable. Every time people, you know, write to me, I try to reply. Obviously, sometimes it takes a little time, but I try to reply everybody. Um, I also have the Facebook page. Mostly stuff that I post on Instagram are reposted there, which is Will Conrad R2. So it's easy to find me. And I'm on X. Same. Just put Will Conrad Art. You'll find me anywhere. Easy.
I love it. I love it. Now, Will, as you continue working on all these projects on the side, are you still doing things with Marvel and DC, or have you
Yeah.
really kind of gone toward like we?
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah, please.
Mostly with DC. Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, it's still going. You know, still going strong.
Yeah, that's excellent, man. That's excellent. Now, is there one character in the Marvel universe that you haven't done yet that you would like to do? I know you mentioned in the DC world, but in the Marvel world, what character have you not like tackled yet that you would like to?
No, I think Rom is Marvel, right?
Yeah, Rom, sorry, Rom is Marvel. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, Rom
Yeah,
is Marvel. But
Rom.
I mean, but they don't publish Rom anymore.
No, yeah.
From the characters that are being published, maybe four.
Thor,
I
yeah.
never, I never, I mean, I drew Thor when I did the Avengers, but
Mhm.
I never actually did the Thor book. I don't know if even if they are publishing, you know,
I
a
don't think they are right now.
book. Yeah, I think they should. That's a very
He's a
good
main
character.
character, man.
Yeah. I would like I would like to draw him, not not the modern version, but doing something more, you know, Viking with it. I think it would be a lot of fun, man. Yeah.
And on the DC side, is there someone you haven't touched that you would like to?
DC. Oh my God, man! I think in DC, I did most of the characters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I did almost all of the characters at DC, but the one that I would love doing again, or doing a special or something like that, having more freedom to work with, is Batman.
Yeah. Man.
I have some ideas for Batman stories. Um, sometime in the future, I still think I'm going to try to, reach out the editor and talk about it. See if
Yeah.
we can do something, a mini series or something.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be
that would be fun. Yeah. I remember those stories from Batman. Remember the one that he got crippled?
yes.
Oh man, that story so I love those stories.
Yeah. Is that Nightfall when his back is broken?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
Nightfall. That's Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan, I think, worked on that one, right?
No, that story was amazing. I love those stories that are not tied to the universe
Yeah.
of the publisher, that so you can just have fun with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love those. I love those.
Yeah, yeah. Those are a lot of fun. And then you get to do things with that character that wouldn't be okay in the regular series, but you could push limits, I think, which are a lot of fun too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
create like a parallel, a little parallel universe where you can do
Yeah.
whatever you want. There is another character from Marvel that I would like to do something like that. It's the Punisher.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they made a lot of changes to the Punisher, so Frank Castle's gone now. So it's a new Punisher.
For now, he's gone for now. Every time they do some big
Yeah.
changes on characters, oh, do you know that Superman is like that now, or
Yeah.
the Green Lantern? I said, yeah, for now. Do
Yeah.
you think there are? They never stick with stuff. I like
He dies in comics, right?
when they killed Superman. Oh, Superman is dead. I said,
Yeah.
yeah, for now.
Well, maybe you could do the first Frank Castle Punisher when he comes back, because, like you said,
Oh
it was
my,
in comic books, right?
I wouldn't complain at all.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome. Man, Will, I'm so excited to talk to you, man. Such a big fan of all your work, man. You're
Thank you so
incredible.
much, man.
Incredible, man. The impact that you've had on a lot of people over the years is just amazing. Is there as you've been in the game and you've been doing this for a while, are there some up and coming artists, even just in Brazil, that we should be looking out for that'll probably be doing some pretty big things? I'm sure you probably get messages from a lot of other artists saying, "Will, how'd you do this?" And what's the secret to this? Is there someone we should be looking out for?
Well, there are a lot of guys actually. I can't name one
Uh-huh.
because, as I said, I'm very bad with names, and to be honest, I don't follow too much
Yeah,
of what's coming out because it's too much stuff.
yeah, yeah,
But every now and then, I see stuff that people send to me, and I said, "Man, this guy is going to be great if he keeps, on the right path."
yeah,
And there are even some guys that I remember seeing their stuff in the past, and I give some tips too, or the guy just wanted to show his work. As I said, I'm very approachable, especially on events when we are in shows and stuff like that. And I see I'm looking at some new stuff, and I see the guy's name on a book. And I said, "Man, this guy became good." So there's a lot of people, not only here in Brazil, but
yeah,
other places. Some guys in Argentina, some
yeah.
guys in Europe. There is a guy that I've been blown up by his work. It's Riccardo Federici. Jesus Christ, man, the guy is insane. And he works. The funny thing is, I remember when I started, and I always wanted to do pencil stuff. I love doing pencils. I mean, and I love the feeling of the pencil on the page, and even reading books in pencil. I love the pencil art, especially when you get a good colorist. I think it's an amazing, work of art, and that's what he's doing. And we never had the chance to do that in the past because editor said no, no pencils, only inks. And now I think because of the technology, things are becoming more possible. I'm even thinking trying to do something like that, not his style, but in pencils. But I think his art is fantastic. There are other guys out there that are amazing. Uh, Simone Bianchi art. There is a girl, Elisa, I think her name is. I don't know if she does a lot of comments, but I see a lot of stuff, a lot of her stuff in the Instagram. So I think the social media, they, the social media out there made possible for a lot of hidden artists to become more prominent.
Hmm.
Uh, so I think that there's a great new generation of artists coming out
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
And I'm sure you've had a lot of impact on a lot of them, Will.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I always try to, to be a positive influence.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I like to think that if I influenced, even if it's only one guy in a positive manner, I'm happy. What makes me happy when I go to shows? This is one of the things that I like. Uh, Sometimes I am at a show, and a guy comes to my table, and he said to me, "Oh, you looked at my work a few years ago, and you gave me a lot of tips. I just wanted to thank you. I'm working now, and in part is because of the tips that you gave me. That makes me very happy, man. Very, very happy." Um,
Sure.
so I don't uh, I don't I don't think of myself, as a reference or idol for anybody. I never do that. But if I can give some tips to somebody who is beginning and be a good influence in any way, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. And I think people with your skill set and doing it as long as you have certainly could have a lot of impact on other younger creators. So that's amazing, Will, that you're willing to do that.
Yeah, I remember the guys who influenced me.
Yeah.
I had the chance to work with a few of them, so that made a lot of difference to me. And in fact, the main thing that made me decide pursuing this career, in 1997, we had a show here in my town, which was already something rare. Was the International Comics Festival that we had it. It was the first one. It would be every 2 years, and I remember that they had a lot of guys coming, and one guy was Paolo Eleuterio Serpieri. There was some guys here from Brazil. I remember that Luke Ross was coming, and Will Weisner was here. So I was already a fan of Will Weiser. I was studying his stuff. And when I learned that he would be here, this was 1997, man. I was very, very green. And so, but I prepared a little portfolio to show him. And I remember vividly, it had a big, big impact in my life because I went there and we got to a line, to talk to him. And the people who were taking care of the line, they said, you can only have 2 books signed, one picture, and that's it, because the line was so big. And I was, oh my God. So I took 2 books that I had. I took my portfolio. It was not many pages, but I put between the 2 books. I didn't speak any English. My English still sucks, but at the time I didn't even speak English at all. So what I did was I read and I learned a couple of lines, and I came to him and the people were looking and I put my books when he took the book that was, the upper book, and he saw the portfolio. I asked him one of the lines that I have memorized. I said, could you please look at my work? And the guys were nuts. No, 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 you can't, you can't. And he was so, gentle, and it was amazing because he just looked at the guy and said, hold on, calm down. I'm going to look at his work. And then he started flipping the pages very, very quickly. And he looked, I think that he saw something that he liked because I remember his face, when he finished looking at the book, at the portfolio, he looked at me, and then he came back and started flipping the pages again. But this time with more attention. So he looked every page. He said a few things that I don't know what he said. I think that he was giving me valuable tips that I couldn't understand. That got lost in the, in the ether.
Yeah.
But I remember that he looked at me and he said, keep studying, keep working. You are going to become a great comic book artist.
Wow. What a
So,
memorable.
and then he signed my books. And that at that moment, it was a huge impact in my life because he was the first big guy, one of the big idols that I always had, that I had contact with. And he said that I would become a great comic book artist if I kept, at it. And I said, well, if he said so, I'm going to, jump full body into it. So
Wow. That's
that's a
amazing.
little bit of history. Yeah, a little
What a
bit of
great
history behind.
experience though for a young artist to have, huh?
Oh my God, yeah, I was speechless.
Yeah.
I have the pictures here with me. I think there's I have the pictures online of this encounter.
Really?
It was
I'll have to go through your Instagram to find that. That's awesome, man.
oh yeah, no, you find it out. You find out. And
1997, huh?
yeah, the other great moment that I had a few years when I started working with pencils, I got the chance to work and interact with Stan Lee.
Wow.
So yeah, it was amazing. I did a story with him, and we signed that book together in San Diego. I even have it here. Let me show
Yeah,
you.
let's take a look.
I have it framed.
Wow.
Yeah, I have it framed here. Okay. He signed. There is the character, the guy who did the character. There is the Stan Lee,
That's
sign
incredible.
here. That's one of my treasures.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's incredible, Will. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
What
I
amazing
remember. I remember.
experience to be
I
able to.
remember when he called. I remember when he called my home the
Wow.
first time. My wife, she freaked out.
I
She
bet.
didn't speak any English. She freaked out. It was very funny.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing, Will, man. What an amazing career you've had, my friend. And sounds like you are going very strong still, which I think is absolutely fantastic, man. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about, Will, that you wanted to share with fans that you're kind of doing right now? I know we mentioned Rippaverse. We have Gooding coming up. You're still doing a lot of work with DC. What else is going on that fans can find you?
Well, as I said, I'm doing also working on Flash Gordon.
Oh, that's right.
And
Jeremy Adams later this year. Yep.
yes, and also as I said, we have that creator-owned book that I also co-wrote it, which is The Collector.
Yeah.
It came out through Dark Horse, and we are planning on the sequel. So
Nice.
that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, excellent, my friend. Well, Will, I want to be super respectful of your time. Thank you so much. I hope we could do this again when some of the other
We'll
titles
see.
come out. But big fan of your work, Will. Thank you so much for allowing me to have a time with you. And man, I wish you nothing but the best. I'm glad the storms are over at least for now, and everybody's safe at your house.
Oh yes, yeah, they are brewing.
They are, yeah,
There
it's
were
going to be
some
a weird
heavy
year, I think.
clouds outside today. I hope they are nice.
Yeah, exactly. But I truly appreciate you, Will. Thank you so much for making time for me.
And it's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, and again, I'm sorry for my bad English. I hope everybody could understand what I said.
Yes.
Uh, but thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Wish you the best.